getting ready for our live Friday night cooking class, making pizza. So I'll just wait for a couple people to pop on and then we will get started. So it's actually really nice out today, which is exciting. So hello, say hi when you're here so I can say hello back. So it's actually not snowing today, which is great because the last 2 times I have done this, it's been snowing. So the sun's shining, it's lovely outside. So I hope you're having a beautiful sunny day and enjoying it. And it's Friday night. Okay, so we got a bunch on, so let's get started. Most important, normally I wouldn't do this, but it's Friday. So I have my water in my mug and I also have my glass of wine. So anyways, we're ready to cook. So I thought it'd be fun. I was making dinner and thought I would invite you guys into the kitchen and we can make pizza together. So pizza for us is a staple in our house. I love making it. I typically always make my own homemade dough just because it's so easy to make and it's a lot better than store-bought. So anytime you can make homemade, it's always tasty. So we're gonna get going. This, I have a few different dough recipes. This one is actually from a friend of mine who's a consultant with Pampered Chef. And what I love about this dough is there is no rise time with it, like basically 10 minutes. So I make the dough, I let it sit, and then I chop up all my veggies and get all my toppings ready. And by the time that's done, I'm ready to roll it out. So so that's what we're going to make tonight. So this is, I have a bunch of different recipes, but as I said, I really like this one. So if you guys are cooking along with me, awesome. If you're not, you can refer to this later when you want to make your own pizza. Because you guys are becoming professional dough makers based on our buns that we've done. And what else have we made? We made bread. Yes. See, the weeks are just blending all in together. I don't know if you guys are finding that. Is anybody finding that you can't keep track of the days? I can't believe it's Friday. I really don't know where this week went. Okay, so let's get started. So we're doing 3.5 cups of flour. So as a reminder from our previous bread making classes, you do not want to compact your flour. So make sure that it's nice and loose, which is what I do with my knife and my container. I just stick my cup in and then I scrape off the top, or you can scoop in as well too. So you can do that. So we're doing 3.5 cups and I'll try to remember this time because the one time I did this, I actually forgot counting how many cups of flour we were at. Okay, so that's 2. 3. And then we're going to do a half. So the cool thing about this recipe is it makes 2 pizza doughs. And so what you can do is you can make 2 pizzas for your family, or make it, split it in half, and then freeze the other half. So that's always nice. And then you can just pull the dough out of your freezer. Okay, so 3.5 cups of flour. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a tablespoon of yeast. I use the quick rise, the instant. It's the little tiny little granules, but I know yeast has been really hard to find. Some people have been finding dry active. It's the poofier kind. So if you're using dry active, then you want to proof your yeast before you do this part. Okay. Hey, no problem. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos, Jennifer. That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to do a tablespoon of leveled yeast. So that's going to go in. And then we're going to do a tablespoon of sugar. That's going to go in. And then we're going to do 1.5 cups of warm water. Okay. Okay, so if you guys remember from when we've done bread making, it's really important to watch the temperature of your water, because if your water is too hot, you're going to kill your yeast. And if your water is too cold, it's not going to activate it. So you want kind of like lukewarm, tepid water, kind of anywhere between like 95, maximum 110 degrees. If you're kind of not sure, just stick a thermometer in it, and then you'll know. So we have that, and then the last thing that we're going to add is my girlfriend on her recipe goes a shot of oil. So roughly about a tablespoon. That's what we're going to call a shot. Okay, so I am so thrilled that the little itty bitty easy read measuring cups are back. These are my all-time favorite, and it measures up to 4 tablespoons. So it's perfect for a shot of oil. So we're going to put that in, and away it goes. The other thing you can do too with this is it's a really forgiving dough recipe. So you could add some seasoning to your dough. We have a really great olive oil company in Collingwood, and I love using their oils. I know Barry's got one as well. So what you can do is you can use flavored olive oil. So you could do a really great rosemary, you could do a nice garlic oil, any of that. So, but this one I'm just using regular olive oil because that's all I got. So you're going to take it and you're going to mix until, as we like to refer to it as, a shaggy mess. Okay. As we go along, if you guys have any questions or you feel like chatting, put them in there, because otherwise I just feel like I'm talking at the phone for the next, 20 minutes or so. It's nice to have a conversation back and forth. Okay, so you're going to have your shaggy mess dough. Okay, that's what it's going to look like. So now what you're going to do is you're going to knead it. And this is kind of the beauty of this recipe, is that this dough is super, super soft. I'm going to need a little bit of flour. It's really soft, so especially if you have trouble with your hands, it's not like regular bread that's super tough to knead. It's really soft. Okay, so we're just going to plunk it on that. And with this dough, honestly, I'll sometimes use my KitchenAid, but sometimes I'll just do it right on the board because it's nice and soft. You can see how easy that is to work with, right? So if you are kneading it by hand, throw some flour down, just because you don't want it sticking to your hands and you don't want it sticking to your counter. And really, when you knead, it's just a matter of pulling and pushing. Okay, so you're going to pull towards you and you're going to push away and turn, push away, turn, pull towards you. And really, that's all it is. Let's just see. Emily's doing yours, eh, Tracy? Awesome. Tell everybody how old Emily is, which is great. So I have to tell you a story. So Tracy saw this and that I was doing this tonight, and she had actually pulled out a prime rib, and she put her prime rib back in the freezer because she wanted to make pizza. She's my neighbor across the street, so that's kind of fun. And yes, it will make 2 pizzas, Tammy, 15-inch. So I'm using my grill stone for it. And also, it really depends too on how thick you like your pizza crust. Like, we're not huge crusty kind of people. We like kind of more of a thinner crust. So again too, it kind of depends on how thick you want to make your crust. Oh, Emily is 7. So Emily's making pizza dough with us tonight, which is awesome. Okay, so really that's it. We're done. I kind of went longer than 1 or 2 minutes, but you see how it's all nice together. It's not sticky, like it's not sticking to me at all. And it's just a nice ball of dough. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab my bowl again. Don't worry about washing it. And just plop the pizza dough in there. And if you have it, put a tea towel over top. If you got a cover, remember, shower caps. So next time if you're at the dollar store, if you have to pick something up, don't make a special trip. Or if you're at the store, grab some shower caps because they make the perfect bowl cover. So because what we want to do is we just want to let that sit, and we want to let that dough get all nice and happy and nice and warm, and it's just going to make working with it so much easier. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay. Apparently I forgot to put a towel in the kitchen. So we're going to, while that sits, we're going to get our cheese and our toppings. So I'm just going to grab my cheese out of the fridge. And so the very cool thing about pizza is, what I love about pizza is pizza can be anything. Really, it's dough with whatever toppings you want to put on it. So if you just like cheese, just put cheese on it. So we're going to grate up some cheese using our coarse microplane grater, okay? And when you're doing your cheese, especially with mozzarella is a really, really soft cheese, same with like a mild cheddar, right? And they can sometimes, especially if you have your the type of grater that you have, it can all stick to it and it makes it really, really tough to grate. So a couple little tips for you. Leave your cheese in the fridge until you are ready to use it. It makes grating it a lot easier. You can also throw it in the freezer for about 10 minutes before you're going to grate it. And it makes it, again, easier to grate. And you also want to make sure you have a nice, good, sharp grater, okay? So that's what I love about our microplanes is that nothing sticks to them. So even if my cheese was warm, right? Like there's nothing stuck to my microplane. So, and it's super duper sharp. So we're just going to grate that up. And then again, I might add some more at the end and see. So anytime you can use bricked cheese, you're better to use a brick than you are to use the bagged. Okay, one, it's cheaper, and two, it doesn't have all of the binding agents. Like if you ever pull that cheese out, it's kind of got like a floury type coating to it. So it's like it's a preservative and a binding agent. So it doesn't all clump together. Okay, so if you don't want that stuff in your food, use fresh cheese. And you'll get a lot more out of it, and I think it tastes better. Okay, so we're gonna put our cheese just off to the side here. And I'm gonna get my toppings, my veggies. So as we were kind of talking about, I view pizzas that really anything can go on them. So I pretty well take a look at what's in my fridge, and whatever is in my fridge goes on my pizza. And especially if I have leftovers. So when I'm preparing the pizza, if I forget to tell you some different ideas for toppings and stuff that we've done, remind me, okay? So tonight I have red onion, I have peppers, I have tomatoes, mushrooms. They just go on my side because nobody else in the house likes them. We're going to do bacon and pepperoni because that's what I had. So mushrooms, washing your mushrooms, just take a damp cloth. Okay, when you go to wash your mushrooms, and you're just going to wipe over the top of them. And I never knew why you didn't actually wash mushrooms underwater. Does anybody know? Because I learned this. I Googled it. So the reason you don't is because mushrooms are like little sponges. And if you wash them underwater, they're going to absorb the water. And then when you go to saute them, they're going to be full of water, and you're not going to get a beautiful, nice mushroom when you're cooking it because it's full of water. So that's the reason why. So if you just take a damp cloth, you can wipe it and you can wipe all the dirt off of it. Okay, so we're just going to take our mushrooms and we're going to slice them up. What are you guys having for dinner tonight? Let me know. Because I don't know what else I can tell you about mushrooms right now while I cut these. Anybody? Oh, you're welcome for the info on the mushrooms. I was actually thinking about it because I've always just wiped them down and I've never really known why. So I thought, well, I should actually know why before I come on and tell you guys to wipe down your mushrooms. Ooh, so we have chicken for dinner. Yes, Tracy's got her pizza. Excellent. Okay. There we go. And I do have to give a little shout out to Tupperware. They're Fridge Smart containers. I put my stuff in their Fridge Smart containers, and they keep my vegetables like for weeks compared to if I just put it in the fridge. Like I've had peppers in it for about 2.5 weeks. So love it. That's how I get my veggies to last a lot longer. Tomatoes. When you buy tomatoes, do not put your tomatoes in the refrigerator. Your tomatoes should be kept on the counter. And the reason being is because you're going to lose a lot of flavor if you keep your tomatoes in the fridge. Sure, yes, you can preheat your oven. So you're going to want to, sorry about that, guess that would be an important thing. Put it to 400, okay? And you're going to go on your middle oven rack, okay? Okay, so tomatoes, don't keep your tomatoes in the refrigerator. Ooh, what else we got? We've got jambalaya or maybe pizza, rainbow trout, and pork loin. Ooh, you guys, sounds delicious. Okay. Now, the other thing too is when your tomatoes start going wrinkly, especially if, you know, they're just not as nice and you don't want to slice them and put them on a sandwich, don't throw them out. So if you have one of the tomatoes like I had, I buy these from Costco. They're one of my favorites. Then quarter them, or if you have the little teeny tiny little guys, the cherry tomatoes or the grape tomatoes, and they're starting to go all wrinkly and shriveled, you need to roast them. Don't throw out your tomatoes. Okay, so pop them in a pan, drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil, take a couple cloves of garlic and just cut your garlic in half, and put a little salt and pepper on them and put them in the oven and roast them until they start blistering. And oh my goodness, toppings for pizza, amazing, because you're not putting roasted tomatoes on your pizza instead of like your pizza sauce. So you could use that as your sauce. I put it in my pasta sauce. So really, really tasty. So don't ever throw your tomatoes out. Same thing if, you know, it's summertime, throw them on the barbecue. Right? Roast them up on the barbecue. You don't have to use your oven. You can utilize your barbecue as well. Okay, peppers. I have a little bit of yellow pepper. Don't have any green in the house, so the pizza's getting yellow and red. And I think that's one of the cool things is that you don't have to specifically buy certain ingredients. You can see what you've got in your kitchen and utilize that. Janet's got cooked hamburger and back bacon. Fabulous. That's awesome. Okay, so your pepper. I had a little not so nice spot, so I just cut it out. But the tip for cutting up a pepper, and some of you guys have seen me do this, but so you don't get all of the seeds over everywhere. Oh, oven temperature, 400. So you don't get the seeds over everywhere. What I do is I quarter my pepper. Okay, so I take it and I go down the sides like this. There we go. There's my seeds, and I have nothing on my cutting board. Okay, so that's a really great way, especially if you're going to be utilizing all of your pepper. Now, if you're not going to be utilizing all your pepper, do not cut the seeds out of it. Okay, because what happens is as the pepper sits, the seeds absorb the moisture. So if you cut your seeds out, what's going to happen is that moisture has nowhere to go, and it's going to make your pepper all soggy. So you can actually extend the life of your pepper probably good 2-3 times than if you were to cut the seeds out. So you could probably get a good week out of your pepper by leaving the seeds in if you're not utilizing the whole thing. That's a little tip for you. The other tip I have for you as I'm cutting up peppers is once we get into summertime and barbecues, when you look at the peppers at the grocery store, they either have 3 or 4 bumps on on the bottom of the peppers. So what you can do is if you buy the 3 bump ones, they actually weigh less than your 4 bump peppers. So they'll cost you less money. But they're tippy, right? So those ones you'd be cutting up for stuff because you don't need them to stand up. If you're making stuffed peppers, or if you want a really cool decoration for your barbecue, buy the 4 bump peppers because they're going to stand. Okay. And if you buy a red one, a green one, and a yellow one, cut the tops off, take the seeds out, and put mustard in your yellow one and ketchup in your red one and relish in your green one. Okay. So it's a little tip for the barbecue for you. I'm glad you liked my pepper tip. That's great. It'll really help you not get seeds everywhere, Tammy. Okay. So we got that. I'm going to take some onion. I like using red onion on my pizza just because it's got a little bit more flavor to it. And you probably look, I kind of cut my onions weird. Like my root is there and my top is there. I kind of cut down the sides of my onions. I don't know why. It's just what I've always done. So I just kind of cut a chunk off my onion and take my skin off and then just slice. Okay, there we go. Got the red onion. Oh, there's a piece I missed. Okay, bacon. My family loves bacon, okay? But honestly, it's a pain to cook, right? Because you got grease everywhere and whatnot. The 3 bump ones are slightly more bitter and your 4 bump peppers are sweeter. I didn't know that. Thanks, Bobby. That's a great tip. Okay, so something I discovered, and I was at Melanie, if you're watching, I was at her house and we were doing, I was doing a cooking show and we were talking about the air fryer and she was talking about bacon, and she got me hooked on this from Costco. So it's really handy. It's a pre-cooked from Kirkland from Costco. It's just pre-cooked bacon pieces, and for stuff like, it comes like this, okay? And if you wanted to put it on a sandwich, you microwave it for like 40 seconds and you have nice crispy pieces of bacon. So we use it, I use it for stuff like this, or if, you know, Alex is making a sandwich and he wants to throw some bacon on, or if I'm doing a Caesar salad, then this is what I use, just because it's fast and easy and I don't have to worry about the mess of cooking bacon. But if we're having, you know, if we're having bacon and eggs on a Sunday morning, then I'm cooking bacon. But for this type of purpose, I just use this. Because there you go, bacon's done. Nice and fast. Okay, and then the last thing we're gonna throw on is pepperoni. This is the pepperoni I buy. I get it at Superstore. I think Walmart carries it as well. And it's quite inexpensive. Like, it is a big, you get a lot of pepperoni for $10. Now, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I would never ever go through that much pepperoni, either do we. So this is what I do. I buy the big thing of pepperoni, and then I know roughly how much pepperoni I use when I make pizzas. So then I take my little baggies, take the itty bitty baggies, and I divvy it up into these and then put them into a freezer bag. And then when I want to make pizza, I have frozen pepperoni, and it takes like 30 seconds in the microwave to thaw it, and I've got pepperoni. So I don't have to worry about buying pepperoni all the time. So I buy it once, I freeze it, and then you're all set, okay? So that's what I do. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. How are you guys doing? Are we good? What time is it? 25 after. Okay, so we have our dough. Now you can see it has risen a little bit. So it's been about, 10, 15 minutes. But if you don't have 10 or 15 minutes, you can actually you can actually do this right away. So you don't have to let it sit. I just find it's a little easier to work with when you let it sit. Okay, so we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour on my mat. So one tip I have for you that I've discovered is don't roll your dough out on your stone or on your baking sheet. Because what I find happens is I find it has a tendency to stick sometimes and also potentially burn. So I like rolling it here, and then I'm actually cooking on the grill stone right there. I'll show it to you. And I'm doing mine on the barbecue. So that's one of the reasons why I like to do this. Where did I get the big pack of pepperoni? Superstore. And I think Walmart carries it on occasion too. But Superstore sometimes doesn't have it. So I always keep my eye out, and I know if I'm getting low in my freezer, I'll buy one and I'll divvy it up and I'll throw it in the freezer. Okay. A little bit of flour. It's always good when you're working with dough, just put a little bit of flour on your hands because then things don't stick. Okay, so we have our ball of dough. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut it in half because, as I said, it's going to make 2 pizzas. If you're not doing 2 pizzas, roll it into a ball and then freeze it, and then you'll have pizza dough ready to go for the next time. Okay, pop that in there. And again, you know, depending on how you like your dough, whether you like a thicker crust or a thinner crust, it works really, really well. Yes, I love this mat. This is the best mat because the cool thing is, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, I can't tell, but there's actually circles on here with measurements. I'm going to use the bigger piece. There's circles on here with measurements, so I can actually see when I'm rolling, like where a 6-inch round is and where a 12-inch round is, so it makes it really easy. And then you have measurements all around the side, so if you're doing cookies or any of that stuff, then it makes it nice, because then you can just, you can tell your measurements. If you do need one, I have an order going in tonight, so just message me. Okay, so what I like to do, you can see how soft this dough is and how pliable it is, and that's really what you want, okay? Because then it makes it super, super easy to work with. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour on the top, like that. And typically, I do not throw my pizza dough, so you're not gonna see me do the, I don't do that. But I just kind of stretch it, okay? Let me just see here. Okay. Yes, Vincey, your mat is going to be, the order's going to go in tonight for it. So, but it's such a nice mat, and it's silicone, so it wipes up really, really easily. Okay, so just from using my hands, you guys can see the size of my circle. Okay, so I'm just going to take my roller and I'm just going to roll it out a little bit more. And I have to tell you, compared to store-bought dough, this dough is so soft and so easy to work with. And I have no idea why, but it rolls. Like, look at that. And there's no fighting. Have you ever had pizza dough where you roll it and it goes like this, and then it goes like this? And then you roll it and it goes like this, and then it goes like this. So this stuff just doesn't. It's fantastic. So I really like this dough recipe. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna grab my stone. So what I'm doing tonight, as I said, I am all about barbecuing pizza. I love barbecued pizza. I think the flavor of it, it just takes the flavor to a whole different level. If you like oven pizza, wait till you barbecue pizza. Okay, hang on. I need a drink. I'm gonna have a glass of water. Just one second. And I have a sip of wine. I love that I get to have a glass of wine while I'm working. Yes, I will post, Liz, the dough recipe, I did post it yesterday. So the list of ingredients, and Honestly, all you're doing is you're putting them, you're dumping them into the bowl in order, mixing, and then you knead it by hand for about 2 minutes and let it sit for 10. That's it. So if you need me to post that, let me know, but all of the measurements are there for you, okay? So I am barbecuing my pizza. It's gonna go on my grill stone. This is my go-to baby for the barbecue. I do so much. Once, where's my oil? There it is. Once the nice weather comes, I don't turn my oven or my stovetop on. Everything goes in my microwave or it goes in on my barbecue. So I do pizzas, I do nachos. Oh my gosh, if you have never barbecued nachos, it is like night and day. It's like a flavor party happening. It's fantastic because you get this smoky, crunchy, crispy. It's just so good. Sorry, got sidetracked there. So nachos, pizza. I do bacon and eggs on here. Sorry, I just saw Tammy's comment that I should skip the water and just drink the wine. So I do bacon and eggs. I do stir fries all the time. I probably do stir fries on this about 3 or 4 times a week. What else do I do? Oh, like if you have like bacon wrapped chicken breasts or chicken breasts that are stuffed, put them on the grill initially to get your really nice sear, and then cook them, put them on here and cook them on the barbecue, because what's going to happen is you're not going to get the like flare-ups from the grease, and then all the great ooey gooey cheesy bits that you stuffed your chicken or your pork with are actually going to stay here as opposed to going down into your grate, okay, and making a mess in your barbecue. So I love this thing. I even baked cookies. I've baked cookies on it on the barbecue. Probably you name it, I've cooked on it on the barbecue. So this is the big one, and then we also have a 9x9 square as well that I use. So what I'll probably do afterwards with my other dough is I'm gonna make the big pizza, and then I'll probably make a small one. Okay, so I like to grease it a little bit. I just use a little bit of canola oil. I would recommend not using olive oil if you're barbecuing, just because I find that olive oil doesn't have a very high burn point. So with canola oil or vegetable oil, you can get a higher temperature without it burning. So I don't want my underside to burn. So there's a few ways that we can do this. I can lift up my dough and put it on, or I can kind of just roll it. Let's see if I can do this here. I'm gonna experiment. So you roll it up, and then I should be able to unroll it. There we go. So that's kind of neat. It makes it for an easy transfer, right? Okay. So you can see I kind of went a little big on my rolling, so that's okay. I'm just going to kind of smush it like this. Because nobody sees the crust anyways. Avocado oil, oh, excellent. Does it have a good temperature? Like it's not like olive oil that can burn really easily? I've never used avocado oil. Does anybody else use avocado oil? Okay. And you can push the dough up the sides a little bit if you kind of want nice crust that way. There we go. And I'm just kind of moving it around just so, because it was too thick when I pushed it down, just so I kind of spread the dough out. So you guys can see it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Okay. So there's my crust, right? So sauce. So the cool thing about pizza, as I said, pizza can be anything that you have in your kitchen. So if you got pizza sauce, great. You don't have pizza sauce, doesn't matter. You can do like an olive oil crust. You can put a little put a little bit of oil into a prep bowl and press in a clove of garlic. Let it sit for about 2 minutes just to get the flavors going. Woo! And then brush it on. You can have a beautiful garlic oil crust. We have used ranch salad dressing. I have used Caesar salad dressing. You can use barbecue sauce. What I am doing tonight is I am using tomato sauce. So what you can do is I take the jar of tomato sauce, and I love this because it is tomatoes and a little bit of salt. That's it. Whereas pizza sauce has got sugar and it's got a whole bunch of other ingredients in it. So I just throw on my sauce like that. I need a spoon. Oh, no, nope. And this is my little cheat. Pampered Chef spices. Okay, so I'm using garlic and herb. Okay, take your garlic and herb, sprinkle it on your sauce and on your crust. Or you can use the straight garlic, you can use bell pepper and herb, you can use sweet basil, you can use any flavor you like. You can use Italian, it smells good. Grab your spoon or your spreader, and then away I go. Okay, so don't panic if you don't have pizza sauce. You can make your own. But Caesar salad dressing, if you have a really good Caesar salad dressing, oh my gosh, it makes the best pizza sauce. Because what do you dip in your pizza? You dip it with like ranch or Caesar. So why not have it as the crust, right? Okay. So inquiring minds want to know, do you guys dip your finished pizza? Like, do you ever dip pizza like into a ranch or a garlic, like a garlic aioli or a Caesar dressing? I'm curious. So let me know below if you dip your pizza. Because we always have this discussion with people when they come over for pizza. Because some people do and some people are like, oh, you never dip. So, and again, if you don't like it saucy, do a little bit of sauce. We kind of like the sauce, so do a little bit more. Okay, let's see what Liz said. Can I use the large bar pan? Yes, you absolutely can. Yep, for sure. So yes, you can use the large bar pan. The only, it just, you know, you have the sides. So absolutely, go ahead. Okay, so this is my other little pizza tip for you, is you have your sauce. Don't put your stuff on, your veggies and your toppings on right away. So you need a barrier. So take some of your cheese and you're going to put some of your cheese down, because what happens is if you have ever had pizza and have had soggy crust, take a look at how many veggies are on your pizza, like peppers and mushrooms and tomatoes and stuff that have a high water content, right? Because what happens is when those things cook, what happens to them? The water comes out of them. So same thing with your pizza. If as they're cooking, the water comes out of them, where's it going to go? It's going to go into your crust. Okay. So if you can create a little barrier with your cheese, then what's going to happen is when that moisture comes out, it's not going to go down and make your crust soggy. It's going to actually evaporate as steam. So what I typically do is it's dough, sauce, cheese, and then I use my pepperoni and I use it as another barrier. And then I put all my veggies and whatnot on top of it. So my boys like toppings, so you will see that this will be like a fully loaded, heavy-duty pizza. Ooh, jalapeno cheese. Yes, so you dip in is it spicy, the jalapeno cheese sauce? Never had that. Interesting. Ah, Carol, you're having steak. Nice, steak pie. Oh, you saute your veggies. Yes. So Vinci sautés her veggies before she puts them on. That will also take the water out. I'm kind of lazy and I don't saute my veggies ahead of time. All right. So we have our nice barrier of pepperoni. And again, this pepperoni that I'm using, I find it has a really, so it's this one, Okay, it has a really, really nice flavor to it. It's not spicy, and it's also not greasy, because sometimes you get pepperoni and it's got a greasy taste to it. This one doesn't. It's actually really, really nice. Okay, so I have my pepperoni. Move my cheese out of the way. And then I'm going to put down my tomatoes. Anybody doing anything exciting at home this weekend? Because we're not going out anywhere. Oh, so you didn't remind me. I was going to tell you about pizza toppings. So while I do this, so pizza toppings. As I said, pizza can be anything. Typically, we have pizza one night a week. It's usually Saturday nights, because I used to do a lot of shows, live shows on Fridays. So we would always kind of do pizza Saturday night. And honestly, Saturday pizza worked great because we always called it leftover pizza, because it was whatever leftovers were left in the fridge went on the pizza. So I have put everything from grilled chicken breasts. I've cut up hamburgers that have been left over and put that on. I have cut up steak and it's gone on the pizza. You can basically do any kind of vegetable. Excuse me. If I have lunch meat that needs to be used up, I've put salami. I typically put ham. You can put prosciutto. Virtually, like, honestly, anything can go on your pizza. And it's a really great way to use up leftovers, in all honesty. So I just kind of open the fridge and say what needs to be used, and that goes on my pizza. Okay, my onions. Now, if you're barbecuing your pizza, or I should say when you're barbecuing your pizza, you always want to rotate your pizza about halfway through cooking. So you want to cook it, even if it's on your barbecue, you want to cook it at about 400. You don't want to cook it higher than that because it will burn. So 400 is a really great temperature to work with. And I gotta remember not to put mushrooms on the whole thing, because the boys won't eat it. Okay. So it's a really, what was I saying? Oh yeah, 400 degrees. So you really want to keep the barbecue at 400 degrees. Takes anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes-ish. So what I do is, once my barbecue's at temperature, I put my grill stone on it. I set my timer for 10 minutes. And then when 10 minutes are up, I rotate it 90 degrees. Because what's in the back, I want to move to the front, just in case you have hot spots, okay, on your barbecue, which most barbecues do. And so then I'll do that, and then I'll set the timer for another 10 minutes. And then when that's up, I'll take a look at what it looks like. And you'll be able to tell if your pizza's done. It should be nice and golden and bubbly. It shouldn't be pale looking. So it should have a really nice color to it. Okay. And again, depending on how crispy you want your bottom to be. Okay. Okay. So my bacon's on. Last thing, I'm going to add the rest of my cheese. And I think we need some more. You can even put on some Parmesan. You could do some provolone. Oh, I just dropped. Oops. Okay. Here we go. The other cool thing about the grater is it actually opens flat. So if I hold it like this, I can grate right over my pizza, in addition to being able to grate on my board. It's going to be a cheesy one tonight. Okay. And then the final thing, oh, hold on, there was a comment. Doing a surprise birthday parade. Aw, that's so great. Aw, that's awesome. It's really cool the things people are doing for birthdays right now. You know, just the creative ways. Okay, so last thing I'm gonna do, my pizza's good. Kind of something I've always done. I'll show you. Put some fresh ground pepper on the top of my pizza. Personal preference. You really don't know, but it just kind of adds a little element of flavor. If you were to have my pizza, you wouldn't go, oh my gosh, she puts pepper on her pizza. But I just find it adds a little element of flavor. So there we go. So that is going to go out on the barbecue whenever my husband gets home tonight. I don't even know what time. So whenever he gets home, we're going to cook that, and we're all set. Oh, salsa, yes. And the roasted tomatoes I was telling you guys about earlier too, when you have like those really wrinkly tomatoes, don't throw them out, roast them, and then use that as your pasta sauce as well. And as I said, that is the coolest thing about pizza, is there is no right or wrong when it comes to pizza. However you like it, make your pizza that way. So there we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is when this is done, I will take a picture of it. And for you guys who are making pizzas, I would love for you to, just like we've done with the bread and the buns, I would love for you to take a picture of it and post it in the group so everybody can see what you made. I hope tonight was helpful. Happy Friday night, everybody. I will be doing another class. I will keep this up. I'll do kind of one live class every week. Everybody seemed really interested in my bagels. They were so good, like really good. I had one for lunch today. I toasted it, had a little female bacon on it. It's lovely. So might do bagels. I know cinnamon buns were popular, so we definitely will get to cinnamon buns. This week kind of just got away from me and I didn't get a chance. To do them, so definitely we will do cinnamon buns at some point as well, and I'm looking for some other stuff. So if you do have suggestions, by all means, just let me know. If you're interested in getting any products, like I know a couple of you were interested in the mat. If you would like to order it, just message me and I can put it in with my order tonight, and I should have it in about a week and a half for you. Okay, so happy Friday night, and I will take my glass of wine, and I'm going to clean this up and get my dinner cooked. So hope you guys have a great night. Thanks again for joining me. Oh, I haven't done the bagel class yet. That will be a future class. Yeah, so bagels will be a future class. So don't worry, we will make bagels together. Do you want to come say hi? Come say hi. I'll come say hi. Come say hi. Alex is going to say hi.
Hello, everybody.
So yes, this is my little one. Yes. My young little one.
I'm the younger.
You're the younger one.
This looks good.
Oh, get out. See? They just want to eat. Anyways, I'm going to sign off now. But thank you so much for joining me and being a customer. And if I can be of any service or any help with anything, recipes, ideas, inspiration, I am happy to help. Okay? Have a great weekend, guys. Cheers.